Albright. Looks like I'm in my office. I'm actually in Hawaii right now. I wish you were here with me in Hawaii. We're on the Big Island, headed to Maui next. The video that I've got coming up for you is a video that I cut on priorities. It's called the ABCDE of activity. Please watch it, get your mind right, and focus, because I want you to win Paris. I want you to be there with us next year on this all-expense-paid trip to Paris, and then we're headed to Switzerland. I don't want you to miss another one. Check it out, the ABCDEs of activity, and earn the free trips and all the things that come with it. We love you, Alliance family, having fun, making money, making a difference.
Y'all crazy. Y'all crazy. Grab a seat, guys. The Alliance is on fire. I'm hearing it all over the United States of America. Hot spots are breaking out. New ones are coming on board. New people coming in going, what is this? What is it all about? What's going on with Alliance? And I go, guys, it took us a long time to get it here. But now that we got it here, we're going to blow this thing up like my food. You know what I'm talking about. So it's just crazy. I've got a lot of stuff to throw at you today. One of the things I want to talk to you about, if you're brand new, and we have a ton of new people that have joined the Alliance and coming on board, new emerging leaders all across the country. And, you know, there's always some history with a company. And people always talk about, I bet you've moved around. I go, nope, I've been right in one spot. We started with a company called, we called them F&G, Fidelity and Guarantee. And I have stuck with Fidelity and Guarantee since day one. Now, they moved some people away. In other words, they got rid of some folks, and we were left. We were left standing with Fidelity and Guarantee. And today, we have one of their young and up-and-coming leaders, one of their emerging leaders with Fidelity and Guarantee. So I want to introduce you guys to him today. So this is Ryan Parker. Come on up. And I'm gonna let Ryan kind of share some of the history, like how he connected with me. Now it won't be loud, but they will hear it loud and clear coming through. So as long as you're up close enough. But it's but you tell them, share with them how we know each other and kind of.
So my name is Ryan Parker, National Accounts Manager for Fidelity and Guarantee Life. I'm sure I met just about all of you guys at all of your conventions over the last 5 or 6 years. You know, I've actually known Andy and NAA for, gosh, probably 15 or 16 years. I've only been with F&G for probably 6 years now, but knowing Andy for 15 years due to my dad actually working for F&G, being the old CEO about 15 years ago. So I've known Andy for a long time.
So tracking with him. So his dad was president and CEO. He was the guy that Bruce Parker, some of you guys have been around with us for 15 years that you knew. It was his dad, and he really helped us be successful. He gave advice, and most of the advice was, you guys are on track. Just keep pouring on the energy. Just keep pouring in the money. Keep investing. Keep building. And we have. And he'll contact me he'll shoot me a note every once in a while or give me a call, ask me how we doing. And I keep saying, y'all guys. So he is currently, what's his position now? CEO?
He's CEO of Pan American Life, working at South America, Trinidad and Tobago, all those great countries.
So he's running another huge company, and he's talked to me a couple times. He said we might consider coming stronger in U.S. presence, and I said, well, if you ever do, you know we can do it. And so it's just crazy how this stuff works out, and then Ryan comes on board and has been instrumental. And some of you know Cindy McGarity, that's been with us for 15 years. I think there was a stint when some brilliant person decided y'all didn't need her.
It was not me.
It was not him. And they let her go, and we all were like, y'all have messed up, and they brought her back. And so, no kidding, the stories, like 15 years so far of building this. Now, the other thing is, Trey, you got to understand, 15 years to build an infrastructure is no time. Like most companies don't make it 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, but most companies don't get big in 15 years. And we haven't. People go, oh, come to the headquarters. We've got a basketball gym and we've got this. And I'm going like, guys, we're a speck. We're nothing. You got to understand how tiny we are in the scheme of things. There's so many companies in this little town that are way bigger than us. So, well, Andy, you need to be proud of what you do. Here's what I'm proud of. We've built the relationships with John Phelps, who is one of his bosses, with Dennis Sudak, with Tony Garcia, President and CEO of Foresters, with Darwin, now 10 years. These relationships, hey, listen, relationships with Department of Insurance in 50 states, and leads, and mail, and telemarketing. This has been insane to scratch out a living. And then people go like, yeah, you scratching out a living, all right. And I go, listen, you've not seen anything yet.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
This is the beginning. I don't know. Do y'all talk about that? How big the industry is and the opportunity that's out in front of you?
Well, we just talked about how big we were back in the early days, 2004, 2005, and how we're going to get back there with partners like yourself.
I'm telling you, Bo. And nobody, when we were doing it, nobody was like, wow. It was just like, meh. So when we're writing 10,000 applications a week, nobody's going to care. Like, in other words, you don't need, it's like one of those psychological things going like, oh, we could be rich. Like, nobody cares. Like, you'll just start making $100,000 a month or $150,000 a month or $200,000 a month, and the IRS might do this. That's right. That's right. I don't know if they have a person that does that, but
I'm sure they do.
I would if I owned the IRS. I'd be like, yeah, go make millions. I'll get half. But other than that, there's no real mystery to it.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, killing it. We're killing it with the IULs with you guys.
You guys are doing good. The last 2 months have been your best 2 months in the last 3 years. So keep up the good work, everybody.
I'm telling you,
Yep.
it's back. It's crazy. I say it's baseline. It's baseline. And as far as our model, after 6 years of seeing it, what's your perception of the Alliance and what we put together?
Well, I think it's one of the best opportunities out there in the world. You have the ability to not only get leads, but build your own agency. And there's not very many models like that.
Nationwide.
With the leadership. Yep.
And y'all's computer system tracks Infinite.
It sure does.
Like, I just like what? I mean, because I talk to some young people and they're like, and I'm like, that's what I'm looking for right there. And other people, they're like, well, I think it looks interesting. I was like, back of my hand look interesting. You know what I mean? This thing looks like a machine. You know?
It's a way to build your business.
Well, we're going to do more.
All right.
We appreciate the relationships with John Phelps, all those guys. Dennis Sudak, love hanging out with them. And just hang with us, man. This thing's getting crazy.
You got it.
All right. Thank you,
Thanks,
buddy.
Andy.
Ryan Parker, guys. Oh, God. Yeah, just think back of the things we went through. And, you know, I know things aren't perfect. Right? And I don't think they ever will be, because we're always demanding more. But I'm thinking what we've got now, when these new people come on board and pour everything they got into it, what they will have compared to what we created. And I'm wondering, of the people that did it, how many of them want to run again? Right? Because my wife, Jane, looks at me and she's like, you going again, ain't you? I said, you got a dog in the hunt, ain't got no fleas. You know, I'm after it, you know. And I got to tell you, when my kids posted for my birthday, by the way, thank you for the birthday wishes. We were on a cruise down in the Bahamas. I got 10,000 texts. Thank you very much. And thank you, the Bahamian text people that charge you for that. They appreciate you. Send me all them texts. It was just, thank you. But what my kids posted, and you know, I don't read that stuff for different reasons, but my wife shows me, she's like, look what your son put up there, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then what my daughter put up, and I'm like, but it's basically saying, thanks for not sitting on your butt. Thanks for leaving us so that now we go anywhere we want with unlimited budget. I felt like there was hinting something in there, you know what I mean? And the cars and the travel, and I understand Spencer, my Hummer, Spencer's Hummer, the H1 is supposed to come in today, you know, and I'm like, I just hear them saying this is cool stuff, not the stuff, and it's, the note was not about the stuff, but it was about the do, and that fired me up. So it just encouraged me to keep cranking it out when we're not traveling to Europe and stuff like that, right? Okay, so Monday we're in Charlotte doing an opportunity meeting Monday night, May 23rd and 24th, Washington, D.C., Detroit, Washington in the morning, Detroit at night, Chicago 24th, and Cincinnati. And let's see, Instant Thunders, I don't know if you have that information, but Instant Thunders are completely sold out. The Instant Thunders are ridiculous. We're bringing people in for this show, then we teach until end of the night, then we eat here and hang out and socialize. So like the winners find each other so they know who else they're running with, right? Then it's crazy training the next day where you meet all the corporate staff, everybody that can help you. People are like, I got this situation. Who you going to call? Right? So now you know who to call. You meet the right people. More identification of the leaders. More training about getting your mind right. Then we go out to the hangar. Look at the Alliance Air. We've got, by the way, I'm told that the Ferrari should be here Saturday, so that'll be in the hangar. Crank it up. I can't wait to hear it in that hangar. Oh my gosh. And it's just dream building, but you're getting around other dreamers who believe like you believe. Because, you know, out there in the world, it's negative stuff and it kind of pulls you down. So you get around these and you connect so you can run together. And then we do more training, more intensity, anything you need is delivered. And then we go out to the cabin, and it's another dream building experience. It's just, people have walked away from this and production tripled, income tripled, just like that. And I'm always like, God, what did we do if we could just bottle this stuff and ship it instead of people having to come here and get it? But I mean, I have seen people come in with Tupperware and scoop up the air, and like I get pictures back where people are like smelling the, you know, I'm like, so the next two are sold out, April 27th through the 29th, and then May 18th sold out. They sold out in 2 days. So I am going to tell you, we might do another one May 25, 26, and 27. So I would recommend you sign up for the 27th. The first two on the waiting list, so if somebody cancels, changes their mind, dog gets sick, kitty cat sick, no offense to the people whose kitty cats got sick. I understand. I feel bad too. So, you know, but stuff happens, you might get in. But they will be the first ones to be notified if we do this other one, or if you are interested in the other one, let us know, because we can't decide. It's before a holiday. There's a holiday coming up. What is it? Memorial Day. So it's right before that. So we're trying to decide. I'm ready, willing, and able. Okay, so that is a might. We don't know that for sure. Did y'all hear about the Mediterranean cruise contest we're doing? Has everybody heard about that? It's going to be crazy, guys. We just got back from the Bahamas. We took 66 people down, had a blast. We have a summary video coming out after this show, and people with comments. Darwin's there, Eric Miller was there, his wife Shari, and Darwin's wife Diane, and a lot of couples, and some people brought cousins. It was just crazy talk. Trip. You don't want to miss our trips. I mean, and I've said this, I have sometimes at the end of the year, I'm like, man, I didn't hit one goal. We didn't recruit as many people as I want. I'm like, But we did take a world-class trip somewhere in the world that blew my mind, had a blast with my wife. Now, normally, I'm saying we took 3 world-class trips, so you need to at least take 1, because I just don't know if you'll hit every goal that you want to hit. But if you don't, you go, at least I did this. Now, if you hit your goals, you can hit, I hit my goals. I would say you set them too low. That would be my comment. I'd be like, you set these little piddly butt goals right there, you know what I mean? Who couldn't? But anyway, so then you can say, and I want a trip too. But really, I want you every single person. I say this every week, and then I find somebody that didn't know they were this close or they were this far away, and I'm like, please learn and watch this intently. It's massive to every individual on your team. If you only have 4 people on your team, you should know where you are and all 3 of them are at all times when it comes to this trip. This is huge. All right. Now, I want to share something with you that I have been working on for quite some time. And I was up till about 3 a.m. last night working on it, and I was so fired up, jumping out of my skin. I was like, this is it. This is it. And this is something that it's a real simple way to change your life and bring enthusiasm and excitement. If you allow me into your head, I'm telling you, Duhigg talks about this. Federer talks about this. Some of these brilliant people talk about this, and sometimes I hear it, I get a headache because I'm thinking it's too complicated. But I get it. I get what they're saying. Okay, and I'm going to tell you what they're saying. This brings enthusiasm and control and happiness and results. And I got evidence. I got evidence. I can point to Adam Katz. I can point to Chris Long. I can point to Stephen Davies. I can point to people and say, look, I'm telling you. And I'm starting to where I can point to my children at the successes they had, and I know these kids. They're my kids. They're not that smart. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I don't tell them, but that's not the trick. There's a different, like, you know, when them people the magician saw people in half, and you think, that must have been a sharp knife. I'm like, that's not the trick. That's not what you think. Or they think, you know, it's not that. It's something more simple than that. This is more simple than that. So I want to, all right, I'm going to try to work with you here. Okay, here's the deal. When you die, there is going to be, more than likely, you have a tombstone. And it has a date. Like my date was 1964. And then there's a dash, right? Okay? I'm going to do this again. There's a dash. It says 1964. And then there's a date right here, right? That we don't know what it is. So where are you? You don't know if you're right here. You don't know if you're here. But these are time frames. Let's say I'm guessing you're here, and there's going to be a time frame here, and there's like a 5-year window of time. But either way, this is called the dash. So when you look at a tombstone, everybody's got a dash. What did you do during the dash? And what I want to lay out for you is the ABCDEs of how to get what you want either here or here or here or even here. Like what you want to accomplish, what you want to do. Now, the big deal is this. So we can say now, this is where we are right here. Or we're here. Wherever you are, it's arbitrary. Where are you now? Where do you got to get to next? What I need for you to get, and this is big, you are in control of way more than you think. Like if you want a Ferrari, or if you want to pay for your kids' college education, or you want to travel the world, you're in control. This is not predestined talk. Okay? This is you affect it. Okay. All right. What happens is you've got choices. You've got choices every second along the way. You've got a second. You've got a minute. You've got an hour. You might even say you got days. I'm not going to go much bigger than that. I really like the per second and the per minute. And an example would be, I'll tell you, we were getting ready to come down here, and Chris Revis come down and said, you have 5 minutes. And I'm talking to Ryan, and I'm thinking, okay, and I'm taking down some notes, and I said, I've got 8. He said, you have 5. I said, you remind me of my wife. I'm looking at my phone. I can't repeat this. I'm busy. You with me? I got here, I got all my notes, I introduced myself, and I looked back there, and I had like 30 more seconds. I was like, Revis, I'm early. Does that make sense? This is my strategy. I'm telling you that my deal is to control. I want to have control. Let me tell you this. They've done all kinds of studies. The military, you think military tells you everything to do. Not true, not in the Marines. What they teach you, I don't want to get off on that. I just want to tell you is you have control. And control and options every day is what makes you happier. People don't like to be told what to do. Nobody likes to be told what to do. I'm telling you, nobody's telling you what to do. You have control. Your life is now. We are in America. I think that enhances the ability to be in control. And I say that a lot. Thank God, I just love America. I'm glad here. Freedom to cross state lines. You can sail. You can build. You can do all kinds of stuff. Right now, okay. So knowing that you're in control, when you start to believe that you have control of the ABCDEs of each second of every minute determines where you go to, your altitude. This is real simple stuff. Okay? And I can tell you this. We have staff here that are engineers or programmers. We've got staff that recruit. I'm telling you, this is universal. This is job-wise, self-employment. This is how to get promoted. It's how to get what you want. It's Andy Albright simplified down, dumbed down, made it simple, and it's 100% what I believe. You control it. Okay. All right. Change your life. Life-changing ABCDs. Do I want to write these down? Okay. A. All right, so here's the deal. There are things that you need to do in your life. You know it. Okay? I call them options. You have options of things to do. Like for that last 8 minutes, I had choices of what I was going to do. And so many things happened. When I walk out of this meeting here, I'm going to have choices. Now, there's things on my calendar, but I still have a choice whether I do them. And then during these times, I still get a choice of what I do during these times. Okay? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put a letter beside each of these options. So like Chelsea, you get choices. Trey, you have choices. Like you can either go back, drive back, take a train back, fly back. You get all kinds of choices. Okay, and do you make a phone call on the way? Do you listen to audio? Do you listen to music? Do you listen to country song? Do you listen to the Alliance songs? What do you have? You have a choice each minute of what to do. You need to put a letter beside your decisions. A choice. If you put A beside it, that means it's very important. Okay? It means it's very important. I want to tell you something. See, what you understand? See, I'm thinking of 8 different things I can say, and I decide. So what I'm going to tell you right now, I decided not to say it. And because I decided not to say it, I was like, I mean, people would have went ahead and said it anyway. But I decided not to say it. But now I got to tell you what I've decided not to say, which in fact is me saying what I decided not to say. I'm telling you, you need to watch Princess Bride. It's a big movie. It's very important. It teaches you things like this. But listen to this. So last night at about 2:50 a.m., I was reading Steve Jobs. Is that how you say his name? And Steve hated the stylus pen. He told the guys, he said, that is stupid. God gave us 10 stylus. Why would we give them one of them nasty looking sticks to poke the computer with? So I was thinking, I'm not going to say that. But I was going to say, I'm going to use one of those God-given pens. You with me? But see, I decided not to say that. But some people, they say stuff without controlling, or they watch a video without thinking, aha, I'm watching a video. Does that make sense? I'm going to ask you from now on to letter it. Is it very important that you do this thing? Is it very important? In other words, is the consequences terrible? Then don't do it. Is the consequences potentially enormous? Then I would do it. Does that make sense? I'd call it very important. You mean something could be a disaster and you could put an A beside? Oh yeah, you with me? Does this make sense? So the consequences are that. Okay. B. Put a B beside it if you should do it. Okay, that means mild consequence. Oh, that'd be nice. Oh, that's pretty good. Oh, that'd be nice. Oh, that's not going to be too bad if we get caught doing that. That's not too bad. Or, man, we'll get a $1 bill, or like we might get a free shirt. You know, that'd be nice if we would do. Okay, should do. All right. C. C is nice to do. That'd be nice. That'd be nice. There's no real consequences. Let's eat a little bit of ice cream. That's not too bad. That's nice. Let's go over there and speak to that person right there. This elderly person, and I'm over here talking to Adam. I go say, hello, how are you doing? And maybe pick up their hat for them or something. That'd be nice. No real consequence. You say you feel good inside. Like I said, not real, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to blow your mind. They're not going to get mad. They might get mad and say, don't help me. No, they won't. They might give you $1 million. No, that's a country song. That's not going to happen. He's not, I just met him and no. Okay. Nice to do. And then D. I'm telling you, this is just so simple. Can be delegated. Can be delegated. I like that one because it's D and it's D. And E. This is can be eliminated. Okay, so someone else at a lower dollar amount than you make can do it. Delegate it, can be delegate, can be eliminated. I call this something in your history. Like, in other words, don't say, I should stop this. Don't say that. Say, that's something in my history, that's something I used to do. Eliminated is something in your history. You have old stuff, right? So you have old stuff, that's something that I eliminated. So it's history. So moving forward, this stuff got eliminated. I like this because it's so fast. It's what I'm getting ready to do, A, B, C, D, or E. It's A, B, C, D's, and E's. And I'm going to try to make it so it's real clear. Like even I can figure it out. Okay, all right, so... All right, now, next thing. This is big. How much time have I got? Okay, all right. People think, I said this about my kids, people think that intelligence is the big deal. Okay? And I say this, when I interview people, I tell Adam, I tell Tara, I said, find me smart people. All right, Gino, you've heard me say this. Okay, so I want to be clear. I like smart people. Okay, like that's what I want. When you talk to your executives, Ron, they're gonna say, hire me smart. I like smart marketing org. I like smart people. All right, so this is Gallup surveys. This is people that I know. It's my feeling. I don't want dumb people. Okay, and I like the way I said that without saying it mean. Like, you know what I mean? Just I don't like people that are like dumb people. You know what I'm thinking. Okay, don't read my mind. Don't read my mind except when it's good. Okay. So intelligence is known. Intelligence. Let me see if I can spell it. Is that right? Intelligence. Where? 2 L's? Right there, intelligence. Okay, so intelligence. What they did is they surveyed the same people. Gallup is huge for this. So they went to the people, they studied them, they talked to people like me, and they asked, and what's intelligence? I know the definition. The question is, do you know the definition? Do you know what they're going to say? Here's what they said. It's people that do the things that line up with what they want to do. Like if you want to open a door, you grab the door handle and you pull it like that right there. Or you read the sign that says push and you push. Does that make sense? Like intelligent people do the lines along the things they want to accomplish. Does that make sense? In other words, you don't say, this joker has a high IQ. This guy has a PhD. What you say is, what is the guy's actions? Are they lining up with his goals and desires and dreams? You witness this. So a guy who's doing contradictory things to his goals, people like us would call him stupid. Does that make sense? They would say, that's dumb. He's doing the opposite of what he's trying to accomplish. Does that make sense? Yeah. So we call it, there's different ways to put it. This is one I like, trust only motion. So I don't trust that you're smart because you might have grew up in a privileged neighborhood and you might know where all the countries are and you look intelligent, but say the instructions was on the bottom of a shoe and you're trying to pour stuff out of the shoe and the instructions on the bottom and you still can't figure out how to pour the stuff out of the shoe. Does that make sense? Like you're not smart. Like you're trying to pour this out. All you got to do is turn it. Does that make sense? So it's intelligence. Now I'm not really trying to tie this into the business, but I think you can figure it out. When people say, I'm not going to, like they're doing opposite of what they're trying to accomplish. I want to be your friend. I don't want to start giving examples, but they're doing things contrary, like perpendicular to what they say. They say they want to do this, but then that's called dumb. Smart is just, and this is the Gallup definition of it. Another one I said is a fruit inspector. I don't decide if a tree's an apple or a tree or orange tree. I look at the fruit and I just name the fruit. I say, yep, that's what it do. It do apples, therefore it be an apple. Right? So a person who do the things they're supposed to do, I think they're on track with it. Okay. You tracking on this? So what this does, it goes right back to here, and it says, it's not if you're born smart. Like if you tell a kid, like, you just have fantastic genes. You are such a smart little kid. They're going to be like, whew, I'm glad I was born that way. Now I'm born that way, I'm ultimately going to do. Here's what I've told my kids. I was like, you got my genes. You're going to have to work. And if they get an A, you know what I say? You worked hard. You worked hard. You say, what if they're smart? I still tell them, you worked hard. Because I want them to, I want them to know they're in control. Because no matter how hard you are or smart you are, if you don't work, I wanted them to believe that the do determines the altitude. This is huge. It's just massive. I want to say for any age, but younger people, the sooner you can get that your actions either determine whether you're intelligent or dumb in rich people or in successful people's minds. And also the fact that the more you do, in every second what you do, in every minute what you do, in every hour is huge what you do. Okay. So when your actions are consistent with your goals, intelligent. Unintelligent acts moves you away from the goal. Right? So here's what you want. Actions that move you toward it, that's smart. Actions that move you down here or backwards, dumb. Hey? Okay. All right. I want to be clear on this. I'm aware that the world is full of people that we would call unintelligent. It's also full of people that some would call intelligent because of tests. We would call them unintelligent because they're moving. See, this person say, I know I'm not getting what I wanted, but my IQ is this. And I'm going like, I don't understand. Right? They pick a profession. They do something crazy to their wife or their husband. They do all kinds of crazy stuff that destroys them from getting their goal. And so maybe it's the simplicity of defining smart and dumb where we are. Okay. All right. So now here's a big deal. Part of it is this, and I don't want to complicate this thing. Do you want to stay married? You with me? So this is your goal. Do you want to stay married? Do you want to get married? Do you want to get a divorce? Do you want to get sued? Do you want to go to jail? Would you like to buy a Ferrari? You know, because I've done goal setting that takes forever. Does that make sense? And I'm not against that. But I'm trying to keep it simple. Do you want to be rich? Do you want to have money? Do you want to be able to buy yourself out of a jam? Oh, do you want to have friends? Right? So do you want to have friends in high places? Do you want to get to know people? Then what you got to do is the things you're doing lining up with this relationship. I care about long-term relationships. I hear you. Is the things you're doing lined up with this? I want to be respected by the ones I respect. I want to be respected by my heroes. Do you want to be broke? Do you want to borrow all the time? Do you always want to ask for some money? Is that what you want? Do you always want to be asking for money? Do you always want to be at someone's mercy? Is that what you want? Do you want somebody to have to give you tickets? Or would you like that? What do you want? Let's just say, do you want the good life? I don't know. Or do you not? And in these categories, so they always go like, in finance, in personal life, in relationships, in your spiritual life, right? In your spiritual life, well, you need to determine all your goals. How about, do you want the exciting good side, or do you want the negative bad stuff? Okay, so the biggest question though is, do you? Like, what do you want? Long term, 20 years from now, 2 years. See, long term, 2 years from me, 2 years from now, what do you want? 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 5. What is your goals? What is your plans? What do you want to do? Okay, now, you get this, take this, and come over here and go day to day. You with me? So take each day. So this is what you've decided you wanted. Yep. Now I'm telling you, if you don't care about your marriage, that gives you options in your life. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if you're here and you don't want to care about it, you have options. If you don't care about friends, you have options what you do today. You say, well, I want friends and I still got options. You're messed up. Like it's not optional what you do this week. I'm not kidding you. Like I sent that text to John. That's an intentional thing. I didn't have to do it. And if you think, Andy, you do not think through everything you do. You're a mind reader. You're a genius. If I did that, I would be perfect. I'm not perfect. You're going to do things and say, what was I thinking? And people are going like, you wasn't thinking? You were stupid. And you'd be like, yeah, we're right. Now, what you going to do next? You could argue with them. You could punch them. You could start crying. Or you could say, you're right. Let's go. So you got a choice how you respond. You get to pick. Okay, so what you do is you take these goals, whether you want the bad stuff or the good, and then you go start lining up your day. And you start lining up your hour, and you start thinking, or you could just start, like in the next few seconds, start. And people are like, I got to do goal set before I decide what I'm going to do later on. No, you don't. You can just say, next minute, is this going to get me what I want? Is this not going to get me what I want? I don't know what I want. Yeah, you do. You know, I went through that fast enough. You got it. You know what you want. This is no longer one of those you're having to fight about it. It's just choices. The crazier the want, the crazier the desire, the more fanatic you are, then it's easier to plan this. If all you want, it's like some people say, I just want a car that'll run. Now, you have a very difficult time with choices. But when you're fanatical, the choices are so dadgum simple. So that's why I always say, subscribe to the Rob Report. Think about think about your wife, think about your kids, think about your family. Your friendships? What do you want? Like just like dwell on it and let it burn so it's inside your head, so that you can make quicker decisions. The bigger, it's like if I said, come over here. You're like, where are you? But if I go, come over here, if I start screaming loud, you can find me. So the same as a light. If you burn a light bright, then like if you're out in the ocean somewhere and a light, burning light, you know where to go to get it. Or one of them smoke signals, you know where to get it. You know what to do when the signal's big. So having a big dream, a big thought, a sincere desire now, that is like having a big light. Now you don't go, where's it at? You know, this is what I got to do. So the crazier and more fanatical you get the light burning, the bigger the dreams, the bigger desires to have friends, the bigger you can make these decisions, and you don't have a hard time with it. And when you have if they conflict with each other, that causes problems too. It's just clarity builds, the simpleness builds clarity, and with the clarity you can make decisions faster and easier. I want it easy. I want faster, easier, bigger. How complicated? Does that make sense? People are like, you really do. I say, oh yeah. Like I'm not confused. People say, do you want your team to win? I go like, I don't even want the other team to show up. I just assume they forfeit. Like I'm clear about it. I mean, it's not a discussion with me. And any of you around me, you know that. And you say, well, I'm not like that. Okay, do you understand? I'm not like that either. So why do you think you're like that? Because of what I do, people think I'm smart. You understand what I'm telling you? And you say, but I'm going to be true to my own heart. Okay, your own heart, baby. Your own mentality is to curl up and do nothing. You with me? And just sit back. What will happen is it will feel good at first, kind of like Dumb and Dumber when that guy pees on himself when he's cold. At first it feels good. And then reality sets in and you get fat, and because you don't move, you get sores on your skin, bed sores because you ain't moving, and then you die infected. Does that make sense? It's just like you don't understand is this is not a complicated system. You have to change who you are systematically. You control who you are. Who you are is based on choices and what you do. See, this is the good news. This is the good news. I was reading a post I put up about 3 or 4 years ago, and I said if it was up to me, chocolate and wine would not be fattening. But I didn't make the rules. But I have the ability to interpret the rules. And then once I interpret the rules, now I can choose what I do each and every time. Now, and again, I don't do it every time. You don't either. The question is, when you make a mistake, like eat too much chocolate, what do you do next? Well, what you do the next second, Terry, Tina, what you do the next second is your response to failure. Which in this life, my experience has been, you're going to have to deal with that a lot. So as you get jacked up, messed up, make mistakes, it's what you're going to do the next 5 minutes. That's why I like mornings so good, because basically, I've not made a mistake when I get out of bed. Basically. You understand what I'm saying? Because I have stuff, sometimes I've committed problems before I even got out of bed. But typically, mornings are awesome. And here's what I say. You've heard me say, got another shot. Here we go. Got another shot. Because see, most people, they don't understand it is another shot. Because, okay, all right, I got to move on. All right, let's come back to this. All right, very important. Okay. Is what you're talking about very important? Is it urgent or important? Okay, let's make sure we understand this. Most people get stuck in urgent and they call it important. Urgent is something that demands, like a phone call. Don't think a phone call is important if it's not important. What I do is I look at it, and I'm telling you, I've got some very, very important calls and some very ones that are not. I have an automatic thing that says, what's up? What's up? I'm in a meeting. And I have one, I love you. I've got several that I press. If I'm doing nothing important, nothing, I will pick up no matter who it is, because it's like another card. Like if I'm playing a card game and they go, you want another hit? I was like, look at what I got. Of course I'll take a hit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, don't be dumb. So if I'm sitting there doing nothing, which is a mistake, I will quickly correct it. But if I'm meeting with Adam or I'm meeting with Tim Goad and a person that, and I'm going like, it could be an emergency. I know. That's why I say, what's up? Because they can text me right back, right? But I don't interrupt. Now, let's say I'm talking to somebody like I have been doing, and I'm thinking, this is not important. And somebody calls, I go, way more important. Hello, what's up? That makes sense? Just like that, in a heartbeat. I've been in pretty important meetings and see an important call, and I go, hello, what's up? Okay, good, just checking. All right, good deal. All right, hold on, wait. All right, be right back. And fix it. It's a decision. This is making sense. But every time it rings, it's not important. That's why I don't put it on the noise thing. You with me? If I have nothing important doing, I can check it. Okay? Does this make sense? I don't have it ringing all the time. All right. Does the action, the task affect your long-term goals? In other words, does it contribute? Like, for example, planning. Planning's massive. If you're doing nothing else, look at your calendar. Like if you're just sitting there, look with nothing to do, look at your calendar. Planning is huge. Study. Reading, learning, getting your mind right, seeking to understand, prioritizing. Prioritizing is an important action to do. What do I do first? Deciding what to do. Like when we mentioned the 3 days that we may run, that's a planning thing. I have to do that. I have to decide. I have to think this through. Consider the consequences. What is this? Is this going to put me in jail? Right? Don't do that. Is this have a possibility of me hiring another James Hill, having another Chadwick Ray, another Robin? You with me? Another Teresa, another one of those, or another Debbie? Is this a possibility? That's important. That's important to change somebody's life and to have massive money coming in at the same time. The consequences of recruiting are insane. The consequences of dialing, making appointments, having 25 appointments, the consequences, you could make 15,000 this week. You got more chances of finding an annuity. The consequences are huge when it comes to that. Does that make sense? So, all right. When I get up in the mornings, if I'm leaving before Jane wakes up, I leave her a note. I have decided the consequences of this are enormous. I can't comprehend how important this is. It blows my mind how much she likes it. And it blows my mind how much I enjoy writing them. You with me? What's the consequences of not? She might not happy. She might get mad with me. It might get uglier. It might get ugly. Does that make sense? So the consequences are huge with Jane. I need more better people. I need more people and I need better people. So things that I do that affect whether I'm getting good people or losing good people or gaining people or getting people better. These are huge, important actions for me. All right. So let's look at should do. All right, should do. Mild consequences. I have some friends that I don't know. They could get into business. They could buy a policy. I make $500. I touch base with them. I ain't doing nothing else. Might as well call Bob. Might as well call Tim. You with me? Mild consequences. Little bit of ice cream. One of them Weight Watchers ice creams. Lollipop. Cough drop. Couple calories. Mild consequences. You with me? That's not bad. Nice to do. Enjoying this cup of coffee. This morning I was walking around looking at my koi ponds, feeding the fish. Nice to do. I'm going to go get another cup of coffee and come back down here. Nice to do. I start walking up there. I go, bro, nice to do. Reading the paper, reading the newspaper. I hate to say this. Shopping, going store to store, looking for deals, looking for the shirt, looking for this. That's nice to do. That's nice to do. All right. Here's the deal. Do right here. If you have an A, don't do a B or C. If you have an A, don't do a B or C. Now, you say, when am I ever going to last? You understand, we just got from back from Bahamas. That was very, very important.
That's right.
We went to dinners every night. We went to Atlantis. We hung out. That was very important. Okay? And I was looking at, I'm going to see Spencer next week. We're going to go to lacrosse. That's very important to me. Sitting there, watching a television show, nice to do. It's nice to do. I'm not mad about it. It's nice to do. Just don't do this or this when you got this to do.
That's right.
Does that make sense? Like, don't try to complicate it. It's, do you have something that's urgent, important? Or something that's important for tomorrow or 3 months from now. It's just important periods. If you got an A, if it's important, don't do a should do. Does this make sense? All right. If you have a C, but you have an A, do an A. If you have a B and an A, do an A. If you don't have anything important to do, you can go to B. All right. Delegate. Why do we delegate? Why? Why delegate? Ryan, just saw this. Adam, you see it all the time. I have people around me so that I do A stuff. I have limited time. I have a plane. I have an incredible secretary in Pittsburgh. I have an incredible secretary here. I have a chief of staff. We have people that keep the yard right. Why? It's not because I can't do it. It's not because I'm scared to do it. It's not because I'm lazy. It's not so I can brag about it. It is because I've got a list of these things to do. This buys me time. It is a purchase of A power. And A is the most important stuff in my life. This is so clear, so simple, and you know it in your life, and you know it in your life. You're picking it. Elliptical. I was like, this is important. And it's important. I have a speaker that I keep down there now. I bought another one because I wouldn't have to remember to carry it down there. I don't have to carry it down there. And it's plugged in and charged. So it's important that I listen to something positive while I am on this elliptical. I'm doing 2 A things while I'm doing it. Get it? A, right? Alliance Air. Does that make sense? I delegate this stuff. Now, what can be eliminated? I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to talk about stuff that I shouldn't do. I'm just going to say that's stuff that's in my history. I've stopped doing it. Is there something in your life that you need to stop? Is there something that you need to limit? Why do you eliminate or why do you limit? Because of this. This is all it is. It's the only reason. Just because of that. That's all you're trying to do. Secret to high pay. Not a harder worker, not a smarter worker. That's what everybody says. I don't want to work smart. I don't want to work hard. I want to work smart. I don't want to. It's intelligent, consistent work. So in fact, it is work, and it is smart work. It's both of them. And the smart work is based on whether it's an A, B, C, D, E. You tracking with me? This is just so simple. And this is the key. This is the key. This is what's going to get you there. It's just so simple. And I'm always like so thankful to this because it's something I can do. Success is working on important tasks. You with me? It's working on important tasks. That's the secret. This is working on A. This is huge. So, unsuccessful people kill time by working on low-value stuff so they have no time. They just stop the productivity not by doing nothing. That's not how you do it. It's by working on stuff that does not matter. I scream at some of these executives. I say, why are you working with that group? That group has never produced. They ain't going to produce. They're a headache. It's a problem. And they go, what do you want me to do? Work with you? I'm like, dude, we're producing. We're printing money. Pour the money on us. Give the bonuses. Throw it at us. Tell us what you want. Treat us fair. Matter of fact, treat us more than fair. Treat us unequal. Give us more.
That's right.
Who said, you don't say that? Yeah. I mean, I'm not, Trey, that's why I'm giving more to you. Chelsea, I'm giving here. Mark, that's why I'm going here. I'm going like unfair, 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 unfair. To the good people, to the A, I want to give, I'm not trying to divide this up. I'm not trying to divide this up. I'm trying to put it up in here. Is this making sense? So, some of you ain't going to like this next one, but it's simple. All right, I ain't to it yet. All right, here's the deal. You are free to pick what you do. So, what you do more of and what you do less of. This is real simple.
That's right.
Determines everything. Everything. You say, no, Andy, it's predestination, bro. It's what you do more of. All right, what are you going to do more of? I have people coming at me going, Andy, here's my game plan. I'm going to schedule more phone time and I'm going to book more appointments. How you like me so far? I go, are you trying to sell more? They go, yeah, I need more money. I go, brilliant. You are a genius. You've seen me do this. I look people and I go, you're a genius. That's very intelligent of you. Because you want more money, therefore you schedule more phone time. Andy, I'm going to buy more leads. That's smart. Andy, I'm going to travel and I'm going to stay for 3 days and I'm going to work 20 hours a day. I go, that's very intelligent of you. And what people hear is, that's Andy wants them to work hard. Not true. I want them to work smart, and I want them to do a lot of the smart stuff. So we had this lady, she was telling me, she says, Andy, I'm going to book appointments. I said, how many are you going to book? She said, 7 or 8. How long are you going to be there? She said, I'll be there about 3, 4 hours, 5 hours. I'm hanging out. We're just hanging out. I said, are you going to book calls or are you going to hang out? She said, well, I'm going to book appointments. I said, well, then why don't you try to book appointments this time? So she ended up booking 16 appointments instead of 6. You know why? Because she decided that what was important while she was there is she actually call, and book appointments. And I said, and while you're on the phone, you can be smiling to people and talking to them while it's ringing. But when the other people pick up, you need to focus on booking the call. And so she came back, she said, you don't believe how many conversations I had and booked the, whatever it was, 14, 16 appointments. I was like, oh my God, it's genius. It's just pure genius. Just utterly IQ off the chart. I don't even know what to say how smart you are. Like I want to bow down and go like you just, it's amazing. So it's more of. What am I going to do less of? You tell me what you need to do less of. I got my list of things I need to do less of, and every time I catch myself doing it, I say, you know what I could do? I could go get some water. I could go outside and pick dandelions, clean up the yard. I could flip through the book. I could flip through Think and Grow Rich. I could flip through Goals of Brian Tracy. I could flip through Henry Clouds and just read some of the quotes. That's what I could do. It's what do you need to do more of? What do you need to get less of? Now, this is what I was going to tell you. I don't know if you like it or not. Here's an idea. Get up early tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. And work all day on A stuff. All day. You go, well, people will make fun of me. Unsuccessful, unintelligent people will think you're dumb. But not intelligent people, they will say smart. I've been known to work all day. And I'm not talking about 8 hours. I'm talking about 7 a.m. until 1 a.m. You're talking about like 7 to 12, and then 12 to 12, and 12 to 1? Yes. Why? Because I looked at even, like broke, and broke was like right here, and I was like right here, okay? And I didn't want to stay right here because tomorrow more bills was coming in. I wanted to get ahead of the bills. So what I did, Terry, what I did, Diana, what I did was I got up next morning and worked all day. So I planned my day to work all day on A stuff. That's why I said some of you ain't going to like it. I'm telling you, it's the craziest advice. You say, I want a Mediterranean cruise, but things are getting in my way. Well, what I would do is I would put A in the way of those other things all day.
That's right.
That makes sense? It's the craziest thing. When you do a task consciously or unconsciously, so when you say, I didn't mean to do it, it still counts as a do. So habits. So, it's so funny because I'm sitting here thinking of things that I know I do, and I've tried to minimize some, and some I've realized I hadn't even tried to minimize. And I'm thinking of other things I need to do, right? Other things I need to do more of. I'm going like, I got to do it. So here's another thing. I'm going to ask you this. Mr. Katz, Mr. Davies, Mr. Fitz, Mr. Long, Mr. Lampy, Mrs. Lampy, Mrs. Leventovich, would you guys teach this? Because when y'all teach it, Angela, would you teach this? Because when you teach it, you're going to be put in the position I am, and you're going to start listening to this by the person that you trust the most. And it ain't me, it's you. It's when you start hearing yourself say this, Argenio, teach this. Matter of fact, if you guys are running a hotspot, get somebody up that y'all like, that you fired up about, and let them teach this subject. Just go right back over the same thing. All right. This is big little thing right here. All right. This is your entire life. Entire life. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to pick the first thing to do next, like the first thing you need to do, and the second thing you need to do. That's all I want you to do. What's the first and what's the second? Like if you're short on money, I want you to tell me the first thing that you know that it's the most important, the most powerful, the most impactful thing that you can do. If you're short on money and you want to make more money, what's the most impactful? You want to grow residual income, what's the most impactful? If it's a relationship with your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, what's the most impactful? Okay? But you know I want to talk about the business. But if it's personal life, you need the same thing. What's the most impactful thing to do? The first thing that you can do. And do it. Do the first most impactful thing, and then do the second most impactful thing. And the next thing you do is you think of all the things that are left, what's the most impactful? After I've booked 25 appointments, which is the most impactful thing I can do since I'm broke, then what's the most impactful thing I can do next? Well, the appointments ain't till tomorrow, and it's only 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I have 5 o'clock until 1 a.m. I can choose what to do. What's the first most impactful thing that you can do right now? You tell me. Is it recruit? Is it run an ad? Is it talk to the people you already got and call every single one of them and say hello? What's the first most important thing? Do that and then think about the most impactful important thing. Then after you do those two things, then say to yourself, what's the first most impactful thing? And the only other thing I want you to think about every once in a while is what do I need to not do? Every once in a while, I want you to think about it. Let me tell you this. Here's one thing I don't need to do. You say, you don't even want to think about it. Yes, I do. I want you to think about what you won't need to do, and I want you to not do that thing. Matter of fact, when you think about this thing, I want you to think about this thing. I know one thing I need to not do, and here's the first thing I need to do right now. This is crazy stuff right here. I'm telling you. Oh. This one's crazy to me. This is called excluded alternative. I looked this up. I did research. Brian Tracy's law. The law of excluded alternative. If you're doing this, you can't be doing this. If you're doing this, you can't be doing this. If you're doing this, you can't be doing this. It's you do, and that eliminates the other. So excluded, it's a law. Excluded alternative. If you pick the alternative, you can't be doing this. But if you do this, you exclude the alternative. This is big. Matter of fact, I'm going to do this from now on out. At least most of the time. When I'm in my right mind. When I want to be rich. When I'm thinking about the dreams and goals. Okay? All right. More stuff. Earl Nightingale. Every great accomplishment of mankind has been preceded by an extended period, often off the years of concentrated effort. Years of concentrated effort. What is years of concentrated effort? It's seconds and minutes and hours. That's all it is. Don't think about it in years. Think about it in terms of seconds and minutes. Okay? Edison, my success is due more to my ability to work continuously on one thing without stopping than any other single quality. Okay. Andy, what if I got 10 A things? You got A1, you got A2, and you got A3. What do you do first? A1? You mean you actually take your A things and you put A1? Yeah, what's the most important A thing you got? And do that. What do you do after do that? A2? What do you want to make sure? Make sure you don't jump down in here and do this. People say like, some of my should do's may not get done. It's called excluded alternative. What are we going to do about it, Andy? Well, we're going to just put it over there in the law category. We say, the law took care of that. Does that make sense? It's over there. The law will deal with them. The popo will come get them. I don't know. You're focused up here doing the A1s and the A2s and the A3s. So let's say, like Saturday morning, I'm going to recruit. I'm going to be over here at 8:30. I'm going to do 8:30 until noon. I might do noon 30. Okay? I might do 8 to 12. But I'm going to do a block of one thing called recruiting. Does that make sense? Yep. I've got a big insurance guy owns an insurance coming in tomorrow, and we're going to talk about a big idea. a big thing. I've got it blocked for 3 hours for this guy. You with me? It's big, right? So I've got stuff blocked of concentrated times that I've got to do stuff. So what I'm looking for you to do is start looking for more blocks of time that you can do stuff. Matter of fact, this little dude hits you right here. This is big. If you can look at your activity, and people show me these all the time, and I'm not. You can't suck me into your life, your details, but I can look at it and I'll say something like, okay, how hard are you working at your job, and how hard are you working creating your dreams? And then I'll say, or I might say something like, okay, based on your schedule in your activity book, are you working more on relaxing and being broke, or are you working more on getting rich? I just ask you questions like that. But I would ask you to start asking things like that of yourself and work on chunks of time on Saturday, chunks of time on Sunday. And then once you chunk something, like if you got an appointment at 2 o'clock and you have another appointment at 4, what are you going to do? So you're only tied up 2 to 3. And from 3 to 4, you got a chunk of time. What are you going to concentrate during that time and do? And then what you do is you get 8 phone numbers of people that you need to call during that time, and you put those 8 numbers in there, and then you do the A1 stuff. Don't sit there and go like, I can read while I'm sitting there. Okay, maybe you need to read, but you know what's the A1 at that time. Okay, so this is huge as far as blocks of time. All right, we run out of time. Okay, simple questions to keep you on track. On track. All right. I'm gonna read them to you instead of write them out. It'll take too much time. Why am I on the payroll? Why are you here? Why are you on the payroll? If you come in to work for me, I suggest you say, why is he paying me? I get paid from Foresters. I get paid from F&G. I get paid from CFG. I know why they pay me. Why are you getting paid? What is it about you? You say, I'm a thinker. Really? Somebody's paying you to think, huh? I'd like to meet this person who's paying that. They're paying me to organize. Really? Really? What do you pay? What's it come down to? For me, it's quality premium. That's what I get paid for. I get paid quality premium. You said, what other people do? Yes, I get paid on what I do too. You get paid for recruiting. I get paid on premium, Bubba. What are you getting paid for? What's a producer? What do we get paid for? Does that make sense? Now, all right. Now, I could do the same thing with Jane. I go, what does Jane pay me for? Like, why does Jane love me? It's a pointed question. And know the answer. Okay, number 2. What are my high value activities? Writing a note for Jane, not putting anything in the sink, taking things that I mess up, I destroy them, I have crud, I'll wash them out, and I'll put them in the dishwasher. That's a high value thing, okay? For my children, calling them, taking them to dinner, going on dates with Haley. High value. Okay, money. What's a high value item? Phone calls? Appointments? Calling new people? Calling existing people back and talking to them? High value, high dollar. Like what am I doing right now? What's high value? Okay, by the way, I'm asking questions. This is big. What are my key result areas? What is Andy? What is Katz? What is Leventon? What is the carries? If the carries talk to me, what are the key factors? Yes, it's recruiting. Yes, it's number of appointments. Yes, it's premium. It's key factors in results. What can I do well? Like, what can I kill it with that'll help me get what I want? What can I get better at? That determines what you study. What can I get better at that'll help what I'm doing? What changes my life? What can I get better at? Okay, what is the most value for my time right now? Matter of fact, you can do good to be saying this. What do I do next? What do I need to do right now? If I could get more of y'all in the habit of saying, what do I need to do right now? You say, well, how am I going to plan for my appointments on Saturday? Right now, you look at your calendar and you plan for Saturday. What you do is plan. It's what is right now. I'm not kidding you. Like when this meeting's over, what am I going to do right now? Who am I going to make a beeline for? Who am I going to talk to? Who am I going to speak to? What am I going to say? What am I going to do next? How am I going to react when Amber says I got to go somewhere? It's like right now, I'm thinking urgency. What happened? What's the best thing that fits these categories? Create a bias for action. Somebody said this to me the other day. Said, I'm a kind of person that likes change. I like to do. I don't mind. Me too. Me too. I'm with you. Now, do you change for high value? Or do you, in other words, is your actions into the higher value and away from lesser value? Right? This is what you want to accomplish. This is what you want to accomplish. Is your actions away from what you're trying to accomplish? Are they deviating? Or are they straight into what you want to accomplish? Are they right head on into what you want to accomplish? Yesterday, I was in a high-tech tax strategy session. It involves insurance. Okay? I said, when I get in the car, I was walking with my CFO. I said, when I get in the car, I am calling the commissioner. I got in the car. I called the insurance commissioner's number. He said, Andy! I said, what's happening? I got 2 things to talk to you about. He says, I got 1 thing to cover with you. I said, you go first. Right? So he lit it up. Then I give him my 2 things. You with me? I hang up the phone. I said, Keith, what do I need to do next? Here's what we need to do. I need to email this guy and tell him which of these companies is best. I need to go to the Deputy Commissioner, Deborah, and ask Deborah what she thinks is best. This is what we need to do now. Does this make sense? It's this insane urgency of A stuff. It's kind of out of control. Confusion into clarity, frustration into focus. That's the whole concept. From confusion to clarity, from frustration to focus. And instead of being frustrated, because you know that ultimately you control this program. When you know it, when you believe it, when you're excited about controlling it, the excitement and enthusiasm gets bigger. Okay? I've really been... This next thing, I've really been thinking about what's the best way to roll this out. We got to have fun. We got to kill this thing. We got to get our mind right. I'm dealing with some intellectuals out there, meaning people that think they're smart, and I know I'm trying to get through to you. And I know it's difficult. I've tried to make it real tiny, so microscopic, so it can go into your head and you don't fight it out. And so you can't argue with it. But I know I'm still having trouble. I know something that'll go right through that intelligence, go right through that heart, and right through in that head. So this is my next shot at bringing clarity into your confused world, bringing focus. So when we were in Cabo, we had a blast. This is for agency managers above. You're invited. We're going back again this year. And you need to become an agency manager for a month. And then another month, you need to hit the strategy, our levels chart for agency manager. And we pay for everything down there. Okay? You just got to get there. When we're there, we do something fun and exciting. The last time they were down there, we wrote songs for the Alliance, okay? So this is us brainstorming on what we were going to do. Is there multiple pictures, Billy? All right. So you're going to do it with me. So this is Lampy counting money. This is Fitz screaming or singing. Tawny Carey singing. Jim singing. They look angry, but they're not. Donna Pettigrew, Bel Air, we're having a blast. We had a great time with this. If you can't tell, this is the band that we flew in from all over the world. This is another one of the band members, and we were just game planning. He was telling us how it was going to go down. This is the guitar guy. So each band member had a different group of us. And you see Chadwick Fitz laid back. There's Marcia Pettigrew, Gina, having a blast. Marcellus, he's into it. Trip. I love it, Fitz. I love you, Fitz. That's awesome. They were into it right here. This is another group. Abian with his electric guitar, Davies. I'm sure he had some funny rhymes. Well, you're going to hear some of them. Melanie, she was cracking me up. Amber getting into it over there. There's Robbie Kraft's wife, Davey's wife, Jeremy Patton's wife. Dorian with the mic. So all this, we've got it all on film. This is going to come out. I'm excited about it. That's right. If you could hear the tune I'm carrying right there. And, Tamara. All right, so is the words up here? What can we go to first? I want y'all to hear, matter of fact, can this group, I understand we have some singers in the crowd. No? Y'all stand up. And we're going to roll out. It's not the first, because in my mind, Paul Menachino wrote the first Alliance song, and Shayla Thomas wrote the first rap song. But this is the first 4 written songs by teams of the leaders. So this is the leaders group song that we put together, and I'm actually pretty fired up about them. So this is part of what I did this morning when I was on elliptical, is singing these songs. Who have I got? Who's singing with me? Is it ABTF? Who's trained? Hill, we've practiced this. Right, give them a hand. Woohoo! Welcome to the stage, the ABTF performers. And everybody out here has words. So we're going to blast out the words. The music, we're going to email. It may be coming to you right now in email. I don't know how to do this high tech, but it's coming to you in your email. You save it to your desktop. Then you download it into your iPhone. Plug it in the iPhone, and it is now on your iTunes. And so now it is in your music, just like iTunes, just like any other song that you can download for free. And also, we have it in our podcast. So you can download it on podcast, or it's emailed to you. The words, the music, the song, the whole thing is coming to you. Did I do, Revis, I cover everything I'm supposed to cover on that? It's not hard. Ask somebody young, and they'll explain to you how to get it on your phone, and you can play it going down the road. And we're going to start with, do I get a choice, or are y'all lined up?
Play whatever you like.
I can play whatever I want. Then let's start with, hey, hey, listen to what we say, because we're going to be talking about what we say. Okay, so how about, well, that was number 1, wasn't it? Now, the hey, hey, we listen to what we said. That was the number 1. I think this other one was the other number 1. Which one did you write?
We wrote giving back is what we do.
Giving back is what we do. This is the other voted number 1 in content and a couple of other categories. So hit it. Giving back is what we do.
EVP hit.
Good job. That was voted number 1 when we were in Cabo. We're going to give y'all a chance to vote again too, but since it was number 1, this is another song this actually won number 1 when we were in Cabo. This one is on gratitude, and I know Jane was involved in this, and I know Fitz was involved in this. Had a great team. So here we go. Attitude of gratitude. Rock the house.
Give it up, Mama and the CV.
We do have special requests coming in. Trip, this is a special request. Take it away from you. I don't know what's wrong with them. They just don't recognize talent. That was voted number one. Now this is the other number one, and they didn't produce my song quite like I wanted to, but it's close. This is all going to get better. Music videos around the world with the Alliance. So this is the first of 4, but there's more coming. This one is People Like Us. We're looking and singing for and trying to find people like us. People like us. Hit it. It's number 1. You guys are awesome. Love you. Thanks for plugging in to TWC. Go get this thing. Go do the do. Find you an A and put it into action. Rock and roll. Love you. Bye-bye.